and let us all do what we can to build a better future.
Corporate media, they're in a weird spot. You have a lot of these pundits who have a large platform, who are trying to at least somehow defend the Democratic establishment. But let's face it, throughout all of 2021, the Democrats accomplished nothing. Nothing fundamentally changed at all. And now, as we enter into this midterm election cycle, already the month of January will be right behind us, and we're going to be continuing to pushing forward into this election cycle of the 2022 midterm election cycle. Right now, you got these pundits and blue checkmark people wondering, how can we get Democrats and progressives to turn out to vote? Now, we've seen Bernie Sanders give his wagging the finger warning about, oh, well, we got to get people to turn out. The Republicans are going to be laughing at the bank. Let's face it, the Democrats did this themselves. I got 2 videos from Case Study QB. Again, huge shout out to all the work that he is doing. Be sure to follow Case Study QB on Twitter. He is a voice and a person that you all should follow because he's cutting out these clips from corporate media that I think very few of us can even stomach anymore. Anyways, let's play this first video where you have Hasan and Symone Sanders trying to figure out how can we get people to turn out to vote. Let's play this first video.
What has bothered me very much is the Republicans are laughing all the way to Election Day. They have not had to cast one bloody vote which shows us where they're at, and we've got to change that.
To that point from Senator Bernie Sanders, a new NBC poll shows a distinct disadvantage for Democrats heading into the midterms. Republicans have a double-digit lead on enthusiasm, 61% to 47% for Democrats. With us tonight, Symone Sanders, former chief spokesperson for the vice president. She will be hosting an upcoming show here on MSNBC and on our streaming channel, The Choice on Peacock.
Right here real quick. Again, Symone Sanders abandoning Vice President Kamala Harris for a nice little cushy job at corporate media. Remember, this is the same Symone Sanders way back in 2016 that was disparaging and smearing the Bernie Sanders campaign, just like she did in 2020, where she was doing cartwheels and backflips throughout all of 2020 to defend Biden. Now, I don't know what caused her to abandon the Biden-Harris ship, but she's got a nice job in corporate media. Let this be a reminder to all of you, no matter what, if you're in the corporate establishment circle, you got a nice cushy job waiting for you. And there she will be on MSNBC telling everyone to vote blue, no matter who. To which I must say, Symone, come on. The orange boogeyman will be back in 2024. Do you really think that's going to work anymore? Good luck. Let's play the rest of it.
And Susan Del Percio, MSNBC political analyst and a veteran political strategist. Thank you both for joining me. Susan, let me start with you. What is your reaction to that NBC poll? Midterm elections have traditionally had low turnout. This one is pretty vital. How do you get Democrats to get excited?
Well, first, let me start off with, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I agree with Bernie Sanders. Republicans are laughing all the way because they haven't had to take a vote. The way Democrats start changing the environment is by taking votes that they can win. So it could be small ball. It could be insulin capped at $35, which was in Build Back Better. It can be universal pre-K. There's a lot of different votes that they can take and get Republicans on the record. I would put a $15 minimum wage for those Republicans who like to fancy themselves progressives. That's how they start at least getting their base more motivated, by seeing them do something. Because right now, it's like gloom and doom. It's written in the stone. It's not written in stone. Yes, it's our history of always turning the House over, not always, but almost always, party against the party that's in the White House. But there's room and time here.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. I have to agree. Yeah, Bernie Sanders is right, but it's almost too little too late. Bernie Sanders is absolutely correct in the fact that, yes, the GOP has a lot working for them. Now, again, I've made it very clear on this show, I'm going to vote independent. I'm not going to vote Democrat. I'm sure as hell not going to vote Republican, because at the end of the day, the same people who donate to the Democratic Party are the same people who donate to the Republican Party. Wall Street, big banks, corporations, lobby firms, big oil, the prison industrial complex, the military industrial complex. You think you, the average citizen, have a seat at the table? The answer is no, you don't. You, the voter, if you're a diehard Democrat blue or diehard Republican red, you're a very good puppet. Don't fall for the trap. Because no matter what's going to happen, how this midterm plays out, whether the Democrats get a majority or keep their majority, or it's a 50-50 House and Senate, or the Republicans control the House and the Senate, nothing's going to fundamentally change. Because until the people say no more to these abusive practices from the Democratic and Republican parties, we're going to continue to get screwed over. Now, of course, again, before we transition to the next video and phase, we should be ready for that one, I want to ask a little Democratic question into our chat. And I think our chat is phenomenal. I think our audience is great. You're intelligent, magnificent, incredible. Type 1 if you're going to watch Symone Sanders' show on MSDNC. Type 2 if you're going to flush that neoliberal propaganda down the toilet. Anyways, let's play this next video where they're going to discuss, well, how do we get people to turn out to vote?
Do you agree with that? And I've got to ask, Kamala Harris is not just your former boss. Bernie Sanders is a former boss of yours. Do you agree with the senator there that breaking this thing up, making the Republicans and Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema vote on the price of insulin, vote on universal pre-K, vote on climate change, is that the way forward to saving Democrat seats come the midterms?
I have worked for a lot of people, Mehdi. Look, I agree with the good senator from Vermont, and I also agree with parts of what Susan said. Look, the reality here is, first and foremost, the sky is not falling. Polls go up and down, and polls are a snapshot about how pieces of the electorate feel at that given time. There is still time here.
What time is she talking about? Biden's numbers, Kamala Harris's numbers, are absolutely dismal. I mean, clearly, this is somebody who's been involved in a lot of politics. I mean, you abandoned Vice President Kamala Harris, or wait, at least according to the neoliberal propaganda from corporate media, you know, you were given a nice little exit. You said, I must resign and all that other good stuff. But let's be very clear here. You saw the ship was sinking. What time is there left? I mean, I never forget that this is the same Symone Sanders that told Charlemagne the God when, you know, Kamala Harris was wagging her finger at him, saying, oh, I'm sorry, we can't hear you. We got some audio problems. BS, my ass. I don't believe this 100%. So the thing is, when we hear Symone Sanders saying that there's still some time, oh, yeah, it's not all gloom and doom, the sky's not falling, what have the Democrats accomplished? I mean, honestly, if a Republican commentator or opinion or libertarian or anybody else came in here trying to say, well, can you defend the Democrats? One, obviously, I'm not going to defend the Democrats. And number two, I got nothing to defend. What's there to say about the Democratic Party? What have they accomplished? Medicare for all? No. That Build Back Better that started at $7 trillion, now at $1.75 trillion, going lower? No. Oh, UBI? No. Federal Jobs Guarantee Act? No. Infrastructure investment? No. Ending regime change wars? No. Student debt forgiveness? No. Legalizing cannabis at a national level? No. I got nothing to defend. What have the Democrats accomplished? The only thing the Democratic Party can say is that they defeated the orange boogeyman. He's going to run again in 2024. So technically, in all reality, and if you vote blue no matter who, I hope this does offend you, the sky is falling. And it's falling on you hard. And if you're a progressive or an independent or even a Democratic voter that was yelled at in 2020, tell you got to vote blue no matter who, think for yourselves next time. You don't owe anyone your vote. Don't fall for fear propaganda. Let's play the rest of this video.
Also note that Democrats have put things, put forward ideas. They put forward legislation, but in the Senate particularly, it has been blocked by Republicans who have been unwilling to let some of these bills come to the floor for debate. We talked a lot about voting rights over the last couple of weeks, and we'll continue to do so here on this network because it will be in the news. Well, the reason that Democrats were even able to bring the voting rights piece of bills, the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act to the floor was because Leader Schumer had to go around using some of these archaic Senate rules to get the bills on the floor because Republicans had blocked debate. So I say all this to say that Democrats, they have been working and fighting. What you heard from Senator Sanders over this weekend is the suggestion that they have to get a little more crafty, and I absolutely do agree. But there's still time, and this administration has something to run on. One last point I would note is this, that we talk a lot about midterm elections and whatnot. Midterm elections are November 2022, and I worked a governor's race in 2014 in a red state for a Democrat. And in 2014, you could not utter the words healthcare, you couldn't utter the words President Obama, and it's very different this year. Democrats across the country, they have something to run on. The bipartisan infrastructure law, the American Rescue Plan, the progress that this administration has made. Yes, there are some real challenges confronting this administration when it comes to inflation, when it comes to the pandemic. But Democrats still want the president and vice president in their district. And I think that's cause for pause here.
What a wonderful word salad of crap. Oh, my God. On national television. Shout out to Case Study QB. Phenomenal work as always. Doing the great work. I don't know how you sat through that, buddy, and not laugh out loud or put an LOL there. But here's the thing. When we look at anything the Democrats have accomplished, it's nothing. I mean, Americans are still being evicted from their homes. We're still struggling with student debt, medical debt. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. And what is the Biden-Harris administration's plan for us? Get more masks. No Medicare for all. Just get more masks. Screw the poor people. Screw UBI. Screw Federal Jobs Guarantee Act. Oh, we got money for war. War with somewhere in Ukraine, putting forces there. But money to help out working class people? No dice. And I don't know what reality Symone Sanders is living in. But again, this is a different time. She's absolutely correct. But the situation is this. You have American workers, families, all across this country, struggling day in, day out just to make ends meet. And the Democrats haven't delivered a goddamn thing. And of course, the Republican Party, they're going to come out with their own propaganda. And they're never going to deliver. They're never going to fight to make our lives easier. Because they'll just say things that their voters want to hear. So here's my solution. In this midterm election cycle, look at the ballot initiatives in your state. The good ballot initiatives that will help out families all across your state. Know the rules and regulations in your state. Help build infrastructure for organizations, mutual aid, and building infrastructure for real third parties to challenge the two-party system. We have to work outside Washington, D.C. I hope that this midterm we see a large turnout, but not for the Democratic Party, and sure as hell not for the Republican Party, but for real movement for change. That's what we need to see. And when you hear this stuff from Symone Sanders, or any of these other vote blue no matter who people defending the Democratic Party, the Democrats have nothing to run on. So let's do some more democracy in the chat. Type 3 if you think the Democrats actually have something to run on, if you agree with it. Type 4 if they're walking into a disaster. And by the way, I want to ask my previous question again in the chat. Type 1 if you'll watch Symone Sanders' show on MSDNC. Type 2 if you flush it down the drain.